Hello, my name is Dr. Marci Littlefield, and today I want to talk about a few aspects of culture. Culture is one of my favorite chapters. I hope you enjoy it too. Today we're just going to focus on a few things. This picture is a picture of cultural diversity. Culture is the very essence of how we see the world. We view the world through culture, we understand the world through culture, and the different people that make up all the cultural diversity is what makes us who we are. This is a picture of subcultures and countercultures. Subcultures are cultures which are part of the way in which society is organized. They are subcultures are not against the way in which society is organized. And examples of subculture would be this one right here, the hippie movement. The hippie movement was a subculture. It was a part of the 1960s in which people practiced free love and communal living. They held values like the importance of peace, love, and community, and it was in direct opposition of the Vietnam War and the consumerist society. Now, while people may feel like this was a counterculture, which the definition of a counterculture is one that goes against society, the hippie movement was really a subculture. That means a subculture is a culture that is has different values than the regular society, but it doesn't go against the main values of that society. A counterculture does. A counterculture goes against the regular values of how society is organized. That means if there is a culture where you kill people, like gangs will be a counterculture. Gangs go against how our society is organized. Killing is not part of how our society is organized. So gang culture will be considered a counterculture. But the hippie movement, on the other hand, will be considered subcultures. Subcultures don't go in violation of the regular way in which society is organized. They just may not be in agreement with. Another example will be the Amish. The Amish are an example of a subculture. This is a picture of the minimalist approach. This is a cultural phenomenon that's going on where people just live in a minimalist way. They want to not have that many things. They have just a few things. And this is also something that is growing to be very popular in American society. This is another aspect of culture. Culture change. We've experienced a lot of culture change in our society. Culture does not look the way it always has. As you can see in this picture, everyone is on their phones. It hadn't always been that way. Before the cell phone was developed, no one was on a phone. People congregated, they talked, they hung out. Now, in any given social environment, people are on their cell phones. This is a direct example of cultural change. Another example are cultural stereotypes. This is a picture, as you can see, this was a nationalist method that was used to really give light to the Chinese exclusion movement. And these are stereotypes that were used in magazines. As you can see, Uncle Sam is kicking out the person that is supposed to be Chinese, and this was supposed to send a clear nationalist message. We have a lot, so this was a derogatory stereotype. We have a lot of these that are part of they're considered to be cultural stereotypes that are played over and over again in the media. The media is part of how that's represented. Another example of culture is ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism, and this is an important term, this term really describes an aspect of culture where you look at another culture and you judge that culture by your own culture. This is an example. This is the BBC series An Idiot Abroad, when he goes to another culture and he travels and he expresses outrage and other forms of disgust as they look at other customs. Part of why ethnocentrism is so problematic is because it is responsible for looking down on other cultures. And this is part of what we don't want to do. Rather than to be ethnocentric, we want to be culturally relative. That means that we try to understand other cultures, even if they are different from ours, in their own right. This is another example of what also happens with culture. People can also make cultural change. People can stand against racism. This is a picture of the YMCA, which created their own Stand Against Racism campaign to bring groups and organizations together who were fighting against racism in the United States. This is also an example of how you can change culture. There are things in our culture that we don't like. This particular group is standing against that. And then there's high culture and popular culture. High culture is a term which looks at what the rich and famous do, things that they like to do. This is a picture of caviar. Caviar is fish eggs. It's really expensive. It ranges from $50 to $100 per ounce. And it's traditionally been associated with high culture, meaning that people who have money eat caviar. On the other hand, popular culture has to do with what people do, what people normally do, and what people normally access. So these are all aspects of culture. I hope you really enjoyed culture, and I hope you enjoy just as much when you look at culture and when you look at the chapter in culture. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you.